Good morning, good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever you have joined. I believe around 10 people have joined. This is season 2, overall session 13 from Learning and Unlearning initiative from SBOA batch of 2003 for our own benefit as well as our lives benefit. Today's topic is to be hosted by Vignesh and myself, Madanish, on the topic Personal Finance 101. A standard disclaimer on anything related to finance. We are not necessarily experts. We do not have any certifications, but since this is a topic that is not necessarily taught or prioritized in the school or college education that we might have, and we wanted to share what we are being taught outside school. It can be through friends, it can be through family practices, uh, especially skewed towards the parenting approach that we had got, and what we implement ourselves. Not that we have made crores and crores of money, but at least we have started doing something, and that's what we wanted to share with you all, right? Uh, so let's go further. Okay. So on a very, very high level, this is a larger framework that we wanted to approach here. So the first half of the session will largely be why and what, uh, asking questions to ourselves. This would be an interactive session. We have some questions to you guys to have your thought process as well as your take on some of the topics and some of the scenarios that we wanted to dwell upon with respect to personal finance. Second is going to be what, in general, what do we do, what all are we missing, what all has to be done better, etc. Then we develop on how, when, and where in no particular order. It's going to be a mix and match. Uh, why and what, and some part of how will be covered. When and where will is what is Vignesh's territory or Giant's territory. And then
Yeah.
we intend also to make all these circles deeper in multiple other sessions, because this is an ocean in our perspective, and what we are trying to do today is a very, very, very high level, and we have consciously kept it as a very strictly an 101 topic. Do not get boiled or boggled down on whatever you see here or whatever you listen here is actually 101. It can you can it can be a lot for today itself, but still it's 101 is what we want you to internalize, right? So having said that, let's march on. A question to start with, right? So this is a famous Tamil song from a movie. Can any of you guess what is this famous song? It's an old
வரவு
song.
எட்டனா செலவு பத்தனா. Recently we saw it with my kid actually.
Okay,
My
okay,
whole family saw, myself, my wife and kid saw this movie.
okay. Who who
And he
who
was
triggered?
asking,
Okay,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, please
Uh,
go ahead.
my wife actually saw the song, okay, and my kid was like, "What is this? What does this mean?" etc. etc. And we showed the movie. What is it? Luckily, he liked it, and he started watching black and white movies nowadays. I was like, "Dude, what?"
Okay, okay. What was the
So
trigger point on who chose this movie and why? By any chance, or
that's
was
what.
it?
இந்த சாங்க ஒய்ஃப் ப்ளே பண்ணி காட்டினாங்க.
Okay,
அந்த சாங்கோட மீனிங்கை கேட்டான்.
okay,
இவங்க எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணாங்க. அப்போ ஒரணா ரெண்டனா என்னன்னு கேட்டான்.
okay,
Luckily, I had some of the old coins with me, so I showed him.
okay,
Then he was so intrigued and he was like, okay, let's watch the movie.
okay, okay.
Anyway, YouTubeல இது இருக்கு.
That's
அதனால we watch the whole movie. இது பேர் என்ன?
Bama Vijayam. This is
பாமா
Bama.
விஜயம். பாமா விஜயம்.
But was there any conscious choice on why your wife played that song to your kids?
எதுக்குமா இந்த சாங்க ப்ளே பண்ணாங்க? ஆனா ஃப்ளோ வந்துருச்சு.
சும்மா ஞாபகம்
என்
வந்தது ப்ளே
ஒய்ஃப்க்கு
பண்ணீங்களா?
பிடிக்கும். இல்ல இல்ல, என்
Okay, that's
ஒய்ஃப்க்கு
fine.
இதெல்லாம் பிடிக்கும்.
That's fine. That's fine.
அதனால
Okay,
அவங்களும் கேட்டாங்க.
super.
அவனுக்கு ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஆயிடுச்சு. ஏய்,
Okay,
இந்த
okay,
மூவி வித்தியாசமா இருக்கு. இது என்ன வீடு வித்தியாசமா இருக்கு. அவங்க
okay.
என்ன கால்குலேஷன்லாம் பாட்டுல எதுக்கு கால்குலேஷன் சொல்றாங்க? அப்படி
Okay,
கேட்டோன்னே, ஓகே
that's
லெட்ஸ் வாட்ச் இட் அப்படின்னு வாட்ச் பண்ணோம்.
super, super.
அதுக்கப்புறம் 2 3 நாகேஷ் மூவிலாம் வாட்ச் பண்ணோம். இதுதான் அதோட இனிஷியல் பாயிண்ட்.
Very
சர்வர்
nice.
சுந்தரம் எல்லாத்தையும் பார்க்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டோம் நாங்க வீட்ல.
Very nice. Okay.
Nice.
Is
Hey, Madani, should we talk in Tamil? Is there anyone who don't understand Tamil here?
yeah, yeah, we
ஓ,
should.
Then,
That was my next question. Is there
ஐ
anybody who does not know Tamil or does not know about this movie or song? Please speak up, because that's the reason that I'm asking. Or how many of you joined? I don't know about who all have joined. Okay, let me
This is
see.
the first time I'm hearing about this song, but I
Okay,
understand Tamil very well.
understood. Okay, okay.
Okay, I will try to be in English
No
better
problem.
than.
No
Okay.
problem. That's fine. Okay. So let's move on. First, congratulations to Mani. Congratulations, double congratulations to the family on seeing this film, especially the
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
right? But whatever you heard, right? Varavetana Selavu Patana. Again, let's try to understand what is Anna and all, because those days it was not rupee and paisa, it was Anna. Anna was some Anna, one Anna was some paise, right? But why is this song famous, or why is Varavetana Selavu Patana that realization? Again, the song goes like Varavetana Selavu Patana Adigam Rendana Kadasil Tundana, right? Uh, but why is it not obvious to us, right? As persons, as workers, as humans, if yes, why do we then need the session is a question that we thought we should ask ourselves. Or there needs to be a continuous learning process which is required to do something right, or do better, etc. If not, why do you think it's not obvious, right? So before that, before we share opinions or thoughts, let me take the liberty to play the song for you guys. It's a fun thing, so let's watch it together, not fully, maybe a larger portion. So basically, the background is for people who might not have seen this movie. Balaya, the erstwhile Balaya, is a grandfather who has three sons, I believe. Three daughters, daughter-in-law, along with the grandchildren. Right, living in a typical joint family in erstwhile Madras. The kids of the Balaya, the grandpa, are getting into the workspace. They are seeing their first dollars or money. They have their own family. They want to spend. They want to invest. Whatever. But for Balaya, it is so surprising that the kids are trying to have a lavish family even at the early stage of the career. So he takes a tangential approach on singing the song in order to make his grandchildren understand the most fundamental basics of finance, be it you are a salaried person or a CA or a lawyer or a businessman, or you can be an entrepreneur, etc. Right? It all boils down to this. And then there's a funny combination of the kids understanding the essence of the song and then teasing their own parents, and then that's a comical way of this song, right? So I think we also can take the liberty to listen it fully, but let's see. Yeah.
வரவு 8 அணா செலவு 10 அணா அதிகம் 2 அணா கடைசியில் துந்தனா. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8.
Forwarding it. Yeah. So I think I'll send this video, but going back to our slides. Am I audible still? Just want to check.
Yeah, you are audible, but the audio was that song was not audible.
Oh, okay.
It was breaking.
Okay.
Aruna sent it in chat.
Okay. That's fine.
Maybe I thought it was my network issue. I didn't know everyone
Did you
faced it.
guys listen to the song or no?
Maybe I don't think so. Anybody would have listened. They would have saw it, but not listened.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Hello?
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
no, it wasn't
common
audible.
issue when you share audio and video. The audio doesn't get played properly,
Okay,
especially
okay.
for songs. It's a common Zoom issue, so nothing
Okay,
to
I
do.
didn't know this. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. Okay, then it applies to multiple other videos that you wanted to play also. So, okay, okay. So actually, Etana is actually equivalent to 50 pies those days. Patana is 62 pies, right? But for us to understand this in a very simple terms, just imagine anybody, XYZ person, his earnings. It can be through salary, is through business, etc. Earnings vis-a-vis expenses, and if in case your whatever earnings that you have got, if the expenses, even if your expenses are matching your earnings or greater than, uh, at the end of year 4, you are owing 80, which basically means in simple English that you owe 80 rupees in order to have zero cash in hand, right? So unfortunately, these fundamentals are not necessarily taught in schools or colleges, and the same applies to health, in my opinion, because I would love to do a health sort of an exercise or a session with you guys maybe next year on whatever I am trying to read, follow, internalize in the family, etc. Right? So the only need or the push that you need to realize is you have to figure it out yourself, right? If in case you have a friend or a rich dad poor dad kind of a scenario, or if you have own parents doing all these things, you are very fortunate. I think I fall under that bucket. So with this, let us understand something very, very universal, right? Again, this is not a law, this is not necessarily documented, but this is how I approach life. It's an universal workflow or a law. Input, anything has an input which undergoes a process for which an output is expected or churned out, right? It does not make any pure sense to expect the output to change when you do not change either the input or the process. So there's only two ways: either you should change the input or change the process, with the input being the same. Yeah. uh, with that, it all boils down to mindset. There's a reason that we have put this in this way. Stating high income is not necessarily equivalent to rich mindset. So would any of you want to take a stab on why did we put these phases in this particular slide in the context of this session?
High debt. They all
Earning
earned,
doesn't matter.
but they
Sorry.
also had high debt.
Okay, high debt. Okay.
They earned a lot, but they also lost a lot, and then they rebuilt. At least Amitabh Bachchan rebuilt. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Always earning doesn't matter. Whatever you hold with you matters.
Okay.
Company.
Understood. So common denominator is what Aruna pointed out. Whatever they earned, they not necessarily saved or invested or they safeguarded. There was no, even though they were surrounded by people, but they were mesmerized on what they would want to spend. They want to see the world, etc. in terms of their lifestyle. So everybody in this, starting with Amitabh Bachchan, Mike Tyson is what you see in the middle, a famous boxer. He went bankrupt and then he had committed some crimes, went to jail as well. Third one is a soccer star, Ronaldinho. The same story. You can read about it, but not to judge these stars, but it is so fundamental that anybody who with high income is not necessarily having a mindset of a wealthy person, especially whenever they are earning or whenever they are getting rich, right? So it's boiling down to mindset is what the point that we want to drive in this particular slide. So this is a small flow chart with Vignesh help. I'm trying to decipher here. So basically, you have income. Income can be your business income, like Aruna is a business person, or she calls herself as a freelance person, or you can have own 10 apartments. Lucky you, if in case you do, you can have your rental income as an income, or you can be salaried as most of us, or it can be dividends or bonus commission from your employer or your own business, right? Then basically there is expenses, and income and expenses basically fundamentally true for any person, because in order to live the world or take care of a family, or even if you are a single person, these two are fundamental. But what you do in terms of whenever you get an income, and how do you consider as well as prioritize your expenses depending upon what stage of life you are towards these last two is what differentiates the mindset between a poor or a middle class or a rich mindset, right? So a typical example would be, or a way or a lens in which you can read this, whatever income, it can be 100 rupees, normalizing the kids, the poor mindset. Again, I'm not talking about poor people, uh, middle class people, rich people. We are talking about a possible person who is income is in crores, but still he can have a poor mindset is the point we are trying to drive here, right? So you can still earn in lakhs or crores, you can spend it all, you can stay in five-star hotels, you can have daily spas, etc. Basically at the end of the day, end of the month, if in case your monthly income is 2 crores, you can still be at say 10 lakhs wherein you have spent 1 lakh, 1 crore 90 lakhs as well, right? So everything goes to expenses, wherein the middle class mindset is, you have the income, then you spend whatever you can, or you whatever you think you should, then whatever is left is actually going down the liability route, or so-called investment. But investment, understanding liability and assets itself is a separate masterclass that we all need to spend our time on. But basically you do the expenses and then get into the liability trap. You can stop for any questions because this is very personal in terms of our day-to-day lives, rather than having the question expenses into multiple buckets as well. We have not done that. You can have discretionary spends, you can have short-term spends, you can have long-term spends, etc. Depending upon that, you always prioritize asset building or investments, and then you prioritize your expenses accordingly, right? And you get into liability, but liability is also known in general as debts. So that's the concept of good and bad debt in general, which you need to understand, right? So I will, maybe I'll take a pause from this in a minute. Income is your foundation of investing, right? Which means you should consider income as your internal mother, because without income, none of the any of the previous slide matters. Yes, Neha, please go ahead.
I had a question in the previous slide, or rather like a thought,
1 minute,
which is,
one
yeah,
minute, 1 minute.
just the previous, yeah, this one, yes. So under asset, we also have vehicle.
Yeah,
And I'm just wondering why we have, because
If in
according
case
to,
you pay 100 rupees of, you pay 15 lakhs of cash and then get a vehicle, it's an asset, right? So, as the fund,
See, so one
as,
one
yeah,
thing people like mistake is that vehicle it's a depreciating asset, but it is still an
yeah,
asset. It is still
okay,
an asset.
yeah,
See,
okay,
it depreciates in value over time, but it's an
mhm.
asset.
Okay, for as long as it's there, you're able to, okay,
yes,
got it.
Yeah,
which means you can liquidate it and then get something in case of, say, the most distressed situations that you have, wherein
Yeah.
the common scenario is getting a depreciating asset, which is a vehicle, through a loan, which is a double whammy in the negative side.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Depreciating asset, I think makes sense, and thanks for clarifying both. Hmm.
Okay. Anything else in this, whatever we have covered till now, especially in this, because we
Not
are
from
all
my side.
see,
in,
No, no, not from
yeah.
me.
there is another scenario like where vehicle can be an asset also. Meaning, like let's say I'm a businessman and I have to go like 10 different offices every day. In that case, vehicle becomes even bigger asset. So again, situation matters, especially when it comes to vehicle, house, and all. Situation matters how you define it as whether it is an asset or a liability. Again, how much loan you have on it also matters. But yeah, that's how we can look at it.
Thanks for clarifying, because when we look at companies, the owned vehicles are also counted as assets
Yes,
apart from what
Yeah,
they have, no?
yes,
In terms of real
yeah.
estate, even vehicles
yeah.
are assets. And I've always wondered why, so I took the liberty to ask here. So thank you for
Mm.
clarifying.
The other way to also understand is, even if you have got a car in under a loan, you might think technically it's a liability, but anybody who has got a car loan needs to understand the actual asset is actually owned by the bank unless you pay the loan back, right? So they have the document, or they can do an auction if in case the auction of the car or the property of the home loan itself, if in case you are not paying back. So the real asset on any loan, the real asset owner of any loan is actually the lender in this case, if in case you are going to a loan, unless you are getting out of the loan as soon as possible. That's the other way to look at it. Yeah. Okay. So looking at income, which is the most underrated, I would say, a player, because without income you cannot build wealth. So how do you, if in case there is 100 rupees which is coming in into your month or a day or whatever, maybe your earning cycle, the miss of 90% of the people uh, going into the middle class mindset. Again, I'm not talking about middle class, talking about the mindset is the most keyword in this entire session, I would say. Jayanth also concurs. So 90% of the people fall into this, right? Which means you earn 100 rupees and you say, I can save only 10 rupees, or I cannot save also. There are scenarios where I can claim that I'm earning 100 rupees. I have so many expenses, so I cannot save, right? But you should flip it over, telling that understanding whatever expenses that you have right now, and to realize what is going to come in your life in the future. You should always spend whatever you can save, after you can, whatever you can save, right? Even if it is 5 rupees of the 100 rupees, the conscious thought and the mindset having that I am putting this 5 rupees aside first, then I have this 95 rupees, and my expenses starts with 95 as a denominator, not necessarily 100 rupees. Again, this is very, very basic math, but the most underutilized or under internalized mantra, I would say, because if in case you get this right, is where the most fundamental building block of personal finance starts. Because again, going back to the slide of rich income is not necessarily equal to the right mindset. Uh, all of them were having this trap, right? So they fell into this trap. Again, baby steps in terms of, think of yourself playing a cricket match. Me and Jayanth were seeing a short film on this particular topic. We will also share that for short film. It's a very old one, I think 12 years old, but government initiative thought film. In that short film, there was a point where the person who is talking about personal finance talks about a cricket match, right? So think of ones, twos. You cannot get into the crease and then keep on leaving the ball, or you should not scoring, right? Even in a test match, you are supposed to score, right? So think of this as ones, twos, fours, six. Think of this as a framework: crawl, walk, jog, run, sprint, whatever. But we'll come to this framework in terms of the analogy and the thought process, which we will see in the few next slides, so that you can able to relate to it. So just have this snapshot in mind of add, maximize, multiply, and compound. Again, with ones, twos, fours, sixes, and if in case you are a cricket fan. So even before going into your investing or saving, right? Even for investing, you need savings. But even before that is what we call safety net. So if in case we would strongly urge you to take a call in order to consider any of these four options. If in case you have not done, it is high time to do it. No matter what you do in the investing scenario, if in case you have missed this most important safety net, being as soon as possible coming out of your high interest consumer debt. It can be predominantly credit card debts or personal loans. If in case it's a housing loan, okay, it's a worthwhile investment because it's a house. But still, the same thing applies. If in case you have got into a housing loan with a higher interest rate, you need to secure your own health as well as your family health in terms of insurance. This is over and beyond your corporate or employee provided insurance. And you should also have a life cover. Do not necessarily go and then invest money in terms of life insurance products which are selling you investment plans, right? So term life insurance is term life, which means it does not necessarily guarantee you any money back, but it covers your life. It can be for 1 crore or 2 crores or 3 crores. That's an yearly premium that you need to make to the life insurer. Build an emergency fund. This is largely towards tackling any crisis. It can be any short accidents, it can be any family crisis, it can be losing jobs, it can be anything related to COVID or whatever we are finding the world right now in terms of gas, etc. I don't know. This is a small starting point. I don't know what the supply shock is going to give to all of us. But any case, have an emergency fund. Depending upon your historic savings and your investment journey, you should always concentrate on constantly topping up this emergency fund. But the minimum goal that you need to start marching on is at least have 3 to 6 months of your expenses. Yeah. Again, health insurance, I'm not necessarily going to talk about these individual clauses here. We'll share this material, but health insurance, there are specific
No,
nuances. If in case you need to get into specifics, we can separate out a separate session. I'm just being time conscious here. Jayanth, you wanted to add anything particular in
yeah,
this?
no, I just want to say these are all some of the important things you need to consider before getting an insurance. For example, pre-existing disease or no deductible or copay. Maybe you have to do a little bit more research and you can get these, but these are all some of the things. There are so many more also in this. Like I could name another 20 also parameters for you, but then I would say these are the most important thing. Again, based on individual case, you can figure it out. So one
Yeah.
more thing I want to add is, right, as a family, right, it's better to get a family floater plans, because for all 3 or 4 people in one family, you can have one plan so that it's easy for you to manage. So that is another thing I want to tell. Unless if some kid is having a specific disease like asthma or something, maybe you might have to get a different plan for them. Or if you have a diabetes, you might need a separate plan for you. Other than that, if everybody is healthy, you can get one family floater plan for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Again,
just to add up here,
yes.
guys, recently I'm going through some insurance buying out stuff. Okay, just to add
Mm-hmm.
my point, see, my wife has a condition, so I couldn't get a family floater.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm.
because that she won't be accompanied into the whole plan. So what
Yeah.
I am doing right now, suggestion from my financial advisor, she will be getting a separate plan, and myself and my son, we are getting one more plan. Okay,
Yeah.
outside insurance was a long time plan for me, but I didn't take it. My bad. But now only I'm starting it. So this is also possible. I'm telling you guys. Okay, so
Yeah.
there are scenarios where if the person is not covered under generalized plan, insurance agencies will suggest you to go for individual plan, like 1+2 kind of thing. If you want, you can still go ahead with it. End of the day, thing is you should be having insurance.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not against family for much. I was also trying the same
No,
thing
no,
because it is
no.
easy for me to
You're saying the
manage,
same thing.
but
You're
I
saying
couldn't do.
that as I said, if everybody are healthy, you can go for one plan. But you said
Yeah,
your
yeah.
wife has a specific condition, so that will
Uh,
definitely need a different plan. So this is
yes,
actually a
correct.
good thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just wanted to add up.
Exactly what I wanted to. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
And
I'm
good that I
agreeing.
saw the slide because all these factors I already considered. I was just looking into the slide and saw if I'm missing something.
No,
Most
no.
probably I
There are
covered
so many
everything.
things. There
Thank you
is
very
there
much for
is
the slide.
restoration. There is restoration. There is top up. There is like no claim bonus. There are so many more things. But I felt this is like
Hmm.
minimum, so that's why
Okay,
I've
this
put
is bare
this.
minimum what we could see.
This is like bare minimum. On top of that,
This
there are more also.
this network hospital things won't actually work out every time, right? Because
Yeah,
it depends
that's
on the
true.
area where we are.
Again,
That time we have to
the
get
constant
some
No,
compromises.
see, let's say you are someone who goes to MGM hospital regularly, right? And you have a doctor
Hmm.
you see regularly. Then you will need if you're selecting a policy, but that policy does not support MGM hospital, then it's a negative for you. You want to go to the doctor regular, so that also matters sometimes. Sometimes it depending upon, again, it's personal.
Yeah, matters because we are regular MGM visitors because my brother is
Yeah,
working
yeah.
there. So by default we go for MGM for anything. So what you're suggesting is select a plan that is covered under MGM, then it is easier for you.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, everything is scenario based. You take a pinch of salt, figure it out yourself, then see if it works out for you or not. And one
But
more thing, there
this
are
is a
also,
one-timer thing, right, Vignesh? Like once I take, I'll be end up renewing the same thing to fund continue my benefits,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
no, if
Because
you want to change after some time, see, there are multiple things. Some plans will give good plans for medium income. Some company will give better plans for higher income. Let's say your income is
Mhm.
increasing. You might want to change a plan later.
Okay.
So for that, so instead of canceling the old plan, you should port your plan so that your past data also gets traveled. So
Oh,
in those
there comes the
scenarios also
porting.
porting,
Okay.
you should not transfer your plan because if you buy a new plan, then your old record will go off, then your pre-existing will
Yeah.
become zero. See,
My
there are so
waiting
many
periods will be
complexities.
returning back.
Yeah. See, I think just insurance have so much complexity, right? So I understand. But see, there are, if you have so much doubt, right? Like there is Ditto and Beshak. These two companies,
Ah,
they
that's
help you
another my question. Is
understand.
Ditto really work?
Yeah. I have my insurance with Ditto personally.
Okay.
So it is really good actually. They sit with you, the questions you ask, they will answer you. They'll get you
Companies listed.
Ditto and Beshak.
Can you put it in the
But
chat if that's
Yeah,
possible?
Ditto, I understand.
sure,
What is the other
Okay.
thing? I don't know. Okay.
I
Ditto
personally
and
have done Beshak.
These folks are not like Policy Bazaar. I heard that Ditto will only
okay.
call us with our permission. Without our permission, they are not going to call us. And
No, Ditto,
recently,
what
I
they do
tried
is
with
that
Ditto.
they are like a
Yeah.
middleman. They are like a middleman for insurance. They'll suggest three or four insurance for you, and they'll explain you what is the feature of each insurance. You can talk to
Mm-hmm.
them, you can ask them doubts, and then whichever
Mm-hmm.
policy you like, they will help you purchase it. And then whenever you are have to do a claim, right? Claim processing. Even during the
Okay.
claim processing, you can contact them and they will help you with the claim processing.
Okay. Because that is one more thing, right? Whenever I go for my office insurance and I'm stuck somewhere, kind of catching hold of my TPI guys is going to be a nightmare for me.
Yeah.
Everyone is
See,
running in the
see,
other direction.
personally, I haven't done any claim yet with Ditto,
Okay.
but they say that they do good claims. Like general review is good, but again, you have
Okay.
to talk to them what is the process,
Until we
etc.
face it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have asked them for suggestions. I didn't get a plan from Ditto. I had my own personal plan, but I asked them
Okay.
suggestion on what all I need to do, and they were okay to help me that time also, even when I didn't purchase through them. So I have
Oh, great,
a
great.
at least good experience from them. But it's your call. Like you can have interaction with them and then decide on.
I already had a schedule to call with them last week, 2 days before. Let's see
Hmm.
how it goes.
Sure. Yeah.
I have one more
Sorry for
doubt. Assume
interruption.
your employee is giving insurance. How
Hmm.
to get another insurance? Like, should it be complimentary or top up, or what is the best way
No.
to
This
get the
should be a
other?
separate insurance. It should be a separate insurance. See, there are two reasons,
No,
right?
assume your employee is covering most of your health needs for you and your dependents. So won't it
It
No. See,
depends
overlap?
on.
Person?
I
no.
also
See.
have the same issue. Okay, go ahead, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'll tell you the reason why you need a separate insurance, right? Let's say for some
Okay.
reason you are trying to switch jobs and you are
Okay.
having 1 month gap between these two jobs. In
Hmm.
that period also, this will be covered,
So it can
right?
overlap. The coverage can overlap.
No, you can have five insurance also at the same time. No issue.
The
You
only
Okay.
can have
nuance,
five
nuance
private
here
insurance
is
also.
only nuance here is largely the assumption here is since Akshay is asking the question, people from state or central governments, they are largely perennial, right? So which means you retire at 60, right?
Mostly we will not switch.
Yeah. So in that
Yeah,
case,
then that's yeah.
it's almost like the slide is for non-government employees where anything can happen anytime. So
Because for me, with
yeah,
it, there is no limit, and even parents and children, everyone is covered actually.
exactly,
Oh,
right?
Akshay,
So
that's a good thing. If there is no
Uh,
limit, that's a different story, Akshay. Let me give you
okay.
my own example,
Yeah.
okay? My thing,
Okay.
right? My father-in-law had to get admitted, okay? He had a double heart surgery. That costed around 13 lakhs. Okay. Then immediately he had to go to another surgery, which costed on. I'm just telling my own example. It's just
Hmm.
personal, so I'm just sharing because of friends. So again, immediately he had to go for another 5 lakhs insurance. That time, no money because 13 lakhs is my office provider thing. It's exhausted. So 5 lakhs is
Okay.
going to be out of my pocket. If I had two insurance, I can split them. First surgery in my office insurance, and the another is my personal insurance, right?
I
So,
understood. Okay. Mainly it is for
so
people who are
not
having a cap on the insurance.
yes,
Yeah.
cap,
Yeah.
definitely. The unlimited is
Okay.
not available everywhere. Maybe it's for a
Okay.
government thing, it's a different story. But all
Okay.
corporates, they have limitations. And another thing,
Okay.
corporate policies are called group policies. Okay. Those things is totally different from what we have. To group policy, benefits are not carry forwarded. But personal policy, if I have, and as they told, if I am losing my job or any worst case scenario, that insurance will be stopped the very day I lose my job. Okay. Who will
Okay.
cover me on that time frame in the 2 or 3 months when I'm searching my job? This insurance will help. And again, for
Okay.
more coverage amount, we have only limitations 13 or 15 lakhs max. That itself is a
Okay.
huge number in corporate.
And
Most of the
almost like assume we are almost, we are everyone is almost 35 plus. So assume if we start whether the premium may be more compared
definitely it's
to.
already more.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
searched
Ah,
at me third
No, no,
Akshay,
like,
it was
rather the question here is if in case you continue thinking this way, we will not even end up doing when we are 40, 45, right?
we may
So,
not even get, I think.
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
Okay.
you have
So
to jump in if in case you have not done. Sooner the better. If in case you do not do, it's a basic risk, right? Even if you have like 2 crores of savings, like assume that like you are the most best financial planner, but you have not done this fundamental building block. The health
It can
issues
wipe
and
out.
the kind of system that we have, unfortunately, can rip you
Mm.
off 1.5 crores in like what 10 days admission, right? Which means all your wealth of savings and investment, careful planning, everything is gone. Instead of
Ah, got it.
paying a 15,000 per year insurance for whatever a crore maybe, right? So that way.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But insurance premium amount for 40, 40 plus is much better. And if you go beyond 60s and 80s, அப்போ ஜாஸ்தி இல்ல?
ஆமா ஆமா ஆமா.
Definitely.
see,
எனக்கு
the
நான்
point
எடுக்கும்போது
is, the point is like
sooner
the
is
whole
better.
financial thing. Got a point is by the time you are 60, you should be financially independent and you should not need insurance.
ஃபுல்லா
But that's a
வரதில்லை
different story.
because when my mom had knee replacement surgery,
Now they need,
insurance
but you can still take for them. Hey, Jeevita, you're breaking up actually. I had a break. I couldn't hear.
my mom underwent a knee replacement surgery in 2022. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Then the claim was actually for 4.5 lakhs, where the
Okay.
insurance company for senior citizen insurance scheme, something like that, through the government.
Mm-hmm.
After they didn't approve the full amount, they just gave 1.5 lakhs.
அங்கதான்
Oh,
கோப்பே
okay.
வருது. கோப்பே கான்செப்ட் அங்கதான் வரும்.
Yeah, that's
ஓகேவா?
why I said no
நம்ம
deductible, no
yeah.
copay also.
இவரோட
Yeah.
ஸ்லைட்ல சில பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் மென்ஷன் இருக்கு. இது இப்போ வந்து ஒரு நார்மல் டேர்ம், ஆனா முன்னெல்லாம் அது ஒரு ஃபேன்சி டேர்ம். சரியா? நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது எவ்வளவு வரும்னு. நான் எனக்கு சொல்றேன், ஓகே, மேபி நாட் அபவுட் அதர்ஸ். நான் நிறைய இன்சூரன்ஸை ஃபாலோ பண்ணி இருந்ததால கோப்பே வந்து ஒரு நார்மல் டேர்ம் தான் நினைச்சேன். ஆனா இப்ப அதுக்கும் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு, நோ டிடக்டபிள்ஸ்னு இருக்கறதால அவங்க எப்படி தெரியுமா பண்ணுவாங்க ஜிவி, லைக் 2 lakhs கொடுத்துட்டு மீதெல்லாம் கன்சியூமபிள்ஸ் ஆயிடுச்சு, 15% கோப்பே ஆயிடுச்சு, எக்ஸெட்ரான்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க. அப்படி சொல்லிட்டாங்கன்னா எஸ், யூ கிளைம் ஃபார் 4 lakhs, யூ வில் ஒன்லி கெட் 2 or 3 lakhs. ஓகே, அதுக்கு தான் இப்போ வந்து பர்சனல் இன்சூரன்ஸ்ல நீங்க இந்த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் பார்க்கணும்னு இவங்க இந்த ஸ்லைட்ல போட்டிருக்காங்க. நோ ரூம் கேப், அப்புறம் நோ டிடக்டபிள்ஸ் அண்ட் கோப்பே இருக்கு இல்லையா, இதை கவர் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட 99% அமௌண்ட், 90% அமௌண்ட் உங்களுக்கு இன்சூரன்ஸ் கிட்ட இருந்து வந்துடும். மீதி மட்டும் தான் அவுட் ஆஃப் த பக்கெட் போடுற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
Yeah, what Manigan said is right. Yeah. Consumables like gloves, syringe, those things won't be covered under insurance.
டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் சார்ஜஸ், கிளவுஸ் சார்ஜஸ்,
Document
அது
charges.
இதுன்னே கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 20% எடுத்துருவாங்க. இதெல்லாம் நான் மெடிக்கல் சொல்லிடுவாங்க. எங்க யூஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஆபரேஷன் தியேட்டர்ல சொல்லுவாங்க. ஐ டோன்ட் ஈவன் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஹவு திஸ் ஒர்க். ஓகேவா? So this is the way of them not settling you.
Okay. Can you go to the next one, because like we are stuck in this one place for a long time. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hardly wanted to tell that, but I left because it was questions.
No,
Just we
because
have
it was
25.
actually a genuine question. See,
Yeah,
probably
genuine questions, but yeah, we have 25.
let's do one session on insurance itself separately.
Yes, separately we can
This
do.
insurance, both insurance and even emergency. 2 insurance and emergency one, we can do one half an session. What all parameters are there? How to look at
Sure,
parameters?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same sort of framework or some sort of conscious thinking requires for you to put your money in terms of life insurance. Again, repeating the fact that do not necessarily get bogged on life insurance players telling that it's a savings and then they also invest your money so that you get your money back. So this is pure term insurance. So basically, you should also think of what debts that you have. Even in case you have a home loan, in the very less probable scenario, the actual loans that you are that is outstanding also needs to be considered whenever you are actually planning for your overall sum assured, right? Which means you pay 10,000 rupees per year so that your life is covered for 1 crore. If you pay say 30,000, it's like 4.5 crores, etc., etc., right? So these are fundamental building blocks. Again, the only one takeaway is go for term insurance, not necessarily any other insurance for life. uh, we talked about good debt and bad debt. Again, debt itself is bad or debt itself can be good. It can be flipped depending upon whether you're talking about an individual person or a economy or a business person. But in general, considering all of us as consumers or individual persons, who are single persons, or we are having families to take care of, we need to avoid bad debts as much as possible. Home loans, again, if in case it's your first home, if you want to do it as soon as possible without waiting to fund a corpus for the home loan, there's no other way. You have to go for a home loan. Car, again, depends upon your choice of spending, depends upon how patient you are in terms of your lifestyle, etc. There are thumb rules in order to identify what works better, in order to calculate your home loan EMI, home loan tenure. For example, in this, whatever you say as 10, 20, 30, Vignesh, correct me if I'm wrong. 20 talks about years, maximum 20 years. 30 is if in case you are earning 100 rupees, 30% of your income, which is like 30 rupees, or you can purchase a home which is maximum 30
No,
rupees.
the EMI of your home loan should be less than 30%
30
of
rupees,
your
yes.
income, your
Yes.
monthly income.
Yeah.
And 10 is it should be
10 times.
the house you're purchasing should be 10 times your annual income.
10
So this
times,
is
right?
the
Yeah.
framework. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similarly, car loan also I'll tell you. So
Yeah.
20 is the 20% of down payment you have to pay. The tenure should not be more than 4 years, and the EMI should be less than 10% of your of your EMI of your income. The EMI should be 10% of your income. So these are three things.
Again, we are not prescribing that you need to get into a car loan. The best way is to save up money and then get a car and then forget about any loans whenever you drive that new car.
So,
Or
can I have a doubt? Now,
yeah.
assume your take 30% should be for home loan, 10% for car loan. So, almost 40% of your income will be consumed in loans, actually.
No,
Yeah.
So, how
we are
can you
saying
say
maximum. Maximum. We are
maximum?
saying for
Ah.
maximum.
No, assume somebody has
Generally
taken
prescribed
maximum.
is no. General
Ah.
prescribed is 30 to 35%. It should not be more than 30 to 35%. That means you can have zero, you can have 20%. It's up to you.
Total
But we
should
are
not be more
saying
than 35.
total should not be more than 35. That's the general
Okay.
rule.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all again. These are all like just a thumb rule so that you can basically plan it, right? But
Again,
if you
right?
can keep it lesser, it's okay. If you can keep it at 15%, it's better.
Better. It's always interrelated also, Akshay, right? So if in case
See, the
you are
thing
going,
is,
yeah,
this is more like a calculation to understand whether can you afford this property or not. Let's say you're going for house, you are seeing all these factors, and you are saying your EMI is coming at 40%. Then you can say, okay, I cannot afford this house. I have to go for a
Understood.
lower house. This is basically a
It's like a
calculation
filter.
before
It's
you
like a
take a
filter
loan.
for my judgment.
Yeah, it's a filter before you buy a loan or
Okay.
whatever. You can use this framework to justify whether you're doing the right thing. Yeah, I mean, different people will give different thumb rule, but this is I thought actually some thumb rule will help you figure out whether you can afford that item or not.
Okay.
Okay, so there is this concept of Madanish, whatever you told, right? Even my financial advisor told. First, to save it. Later on, when you want a house, you go there. Buy an house that time. Anyhow, the house what you buy for 70 lakhs today will be 1.2 crores in another 10 years or
See
something.
that
So
and all
if
is
you save that
speculation.
money,
That is pure
yeah.
speculation.
That's
But I
my doubt.
agree with this advice. No. See, house price and all is speculation. You cannot say it will increase also. There's a chance it could go down. Okay, it's a completely different story. House, you cannot judge. See, any investment, you cannot judge what is going to be the future value. Anybody says
No,
this will
it's
be the
not.
future value, don't speculate it. See, I'll tell you
No,
about
what
house,
is
right?
their
My
advice is
my
don't buy a house on a EMI, save now and buy it on a lump sum amount. That is
That is
or
their
not the
or
way
advice.
it
or
is.
So
I
rather
what
I
is
or
your take
rather
on it?
that is the most ideal case, money.
I
But I know, right? It's a dilemma because you can always put a question back to them or have your mindset or anybody who is
பல்லு
facing that
போனதுக்கு
advice.
அப்புறம் அந்த வீட்டை வச்சு நான் என்னடா பண்ண போறேன்னு நான் கேள்வி
Correct,
கேட்பேன்.
right? So which
Okay.
means it's a balance of your perseverance, your waiting, as well as the need or the basic classification of need or a want, as well as your priorities in life. It's a balance. At the same time, what you can, it's a middle path is you can save something so that whatever you take loan from the for the property is actually minimized. Not necessarily you take 80% of the property value, which is even for the loan. In order to go and apply and then get it with a good credit score, you need to apply 20% down payment. For that itself, you need to save. The middle path is save 50% so that you take 50% only for the loan, right? Or else the nuance here is again, it's all unsaid, right? Because nobody is going to talk about all these things. Banks needs this
Exactly.
from you because the moment you take a loan for any loan, the moment you go and sit and put it in there's something called amortization table. If in case you guys don't know, you look at the amortization label, you will be shocked, right? Literal shock.
How much
Because
interest you are paying?
how much interest you are paying, and all the interest is loaded upfront. All the principal calculation is down towards the end of the loan.
Down
right?
towards the end.
Right? And there are scenarios wherein in banks, I took my home loan and then I have closed it because it's a because it's not a home that I live in. I have rented it right now. But even though I foreclosed it, but I took it from a nationalized bank, which is SBI. But the moment you go to any private bank, again, not to judge anybody, but this is real facts, right? There are private banks which gives you attractive interest rates or whatever commission, whatever may be the options. But even if you want to tell that my outstanding is 50 rupees and I have 50 rupees, I got a lottery and I will close that 50 rupees tomorrow. No, they will say, no. You cannot do that. You need to pay 60 rupees in order to give your 50 rupees outstanding, right? Which is foreclosure charges.
10 rupees are the pre-closure charges.
Right? So which is always skewed towards, again, right, at a very meta level, the borrower is always a slave to the lender, right? It can be in any format, right? So it can be world trade also, right? So as much as possible, best case scenario is to save up cash, but unfortunately, in the economic scenario or in the lifestyle that we are brought up, or whatever maybe the individual values that you have got, it is almost like drinking like the most bitter juice daily before you take a choice. Not everybody can do it. There should be some fine balance, hence some thumb rules. As Vignesh pointed out, there are multiple other thumb rules also, right, in YouTube and wherever you go. The takeaway from this slide is you should have a conscious thought process on your appetite, your income capacity, and your future income capacity, given all constraints and wishes that you have on other possible expenses also. It should not be a case that you have taken a loan either for car and home, and then in 2 or 3 years, you have a discussion internally with you or anybody that I wanted to do this, but because of this, I am already stuck, right? And you are waiting for a day when... Exactly.
எப்பதான் முடியுமோன்னு இருக்கு.
ஏன்னா அந்த மைண்ட் செட் இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் it's a mental block. Even if you want to badly quit your job,
we cannot do that.
So Manish,
from a psychological standpoint. Right?
Hey, one thing, everyone, can we actually extend it a little bit more? Like maybe it may take 15-20 minutes. We haven't even completed half. Like, can we take like 15-20 minutes extra?
Hopefully, it might go
Macha, ella life topic, macha. Things will go on a different angle. Sorry about that.
I understand. I'm okay with all the questions. And now I'm just considerate of everybody's time also. And we can run through some slides quickly if needed. Okay.
Okay. So we talked about health insurance, life insurance manage. Again, we are talking about, guys, sorry to keep stressing, we are talking about safety net only at this stage. We're not even talking about saving.
We haven't started about investment.
We're not even talked about saving only. We're talking about safety net. Okay, we have done this emergency fund, right? Again, let's cover this in a separate topic, but
thumb rule is 3 to 6 months,
whatever can
and
happen,
you start
anything can
slow
happen.
and everything.
Even if your company is in a bad shape, or if your business is going to fluctuation, the constant income that is required for your home basic needs, right? Which is, if in case you are paying rent, you need the rent to be paid. If in case you need school fees to be paid, if in case you want to say groceries, etc., those are supposed to be considered as the most fundamental basic expenses. You cannot, or anybody, if in case somebody says that I would want to plan my say weekly massage therapy expenses inside the emergency expenses. No, it is not. You have to come up with your basic calculation of your monthly expenses, understand how much is the most dire need, consider that, and multiply by that by 3 or 6 is the most minimum need that you need to have, right? For your own comfort. If something happens, you can go and, so that somebody talked about health insurance, and even if you lose your job or something happens in your family, you have this mental cushion of nothing is going to affect my basic needs, right? So that you can concentrate your mind space in whatever was the emergency ask, right? So okay, now we are going back to a question. I don't think I can play this audio, but this is a small, like very very 1 mark type of quiz question. Now that safety net is laid, what do you need in the first place to invest, right? I have given a clue also. Answer is, if you do X, you can do Y, so that you can invest. What is X and Y here? Again, I cannot play the movie dialogues because of the audio issue, but any takes on X and Y? Again, there is another clue here is X applies to individuals, families, companies, and even countries. Guys,
Budget planning
If
or
you can
something.
spend, you can save. Huh?
How can you?
No,
No, if you can spend, how
if you
can you save?
spend,
அது முடியும்னா இதுவும் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி
எப்படி பண்ண முடியும்?
சொல்றேன்.
இருக்கிறதே 100 ரூபாய், நீ 100 ரூபாய் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றனா எப்படி நீ சேவ் பண்ண முடியும்? Okay, just I'm
budget
trying
planning.
to correlate to a movie dialogue, right? So any person can guess. சம்பளம் வருது, I think this hero புலம்பி fights to his mother in a dire situation. சம்பளம் வருது, எங்க போகுதுனே தெரியல, என்னம்மா பண்றது, ஒண்ணுமே புரியல எனக்கு அப்படின்னு. This is, I think, from the movie வேலைக்காரன், where சிவகார்த்திகேயன் does this in a setup. Again, depending upon the state of life that you are, you can have multiple versions or flavors of this situation. But yeah, what is X? Anybody else?
If you do planning, you can do savings so that you can invest. I don't
Okay, if
understand
you
this.
do
Even I
planning,
don't know
you can do.
actually.
Okay, so only if you save, you can invest. So why is saving, right? So, but how do you make sure that you save? Planning is one, but the answer that I was looking for is budgeting, right? So
Budget planning.
even for countries, budget is there. Whether the budget is actually followed, that is a different question. Same applies for individuals, but only if you budget, which means you'll have to take a pen and paper, you have to diary, or you have to have an Excel sheet in terms of whatever you are, what is coming in, where is it going. The simple commonsensical answer is to this சிவகார்த்திகேயன் புலம்பிஃபைங் is, சம்பளம் வருது வருது எங்க போறேனே தெரியலனா, நீ அதை பார்த்தா தானே உனக்கு தெரியும். நீ பார்க்கவே இல்லை, அதை பத்தி பார்க்கவே இல்லை, கண்ணிலே பார்க்கலாட்டி, wherever it can be a sheet, or it can be, it's always closer to the sheet, time tracking sheet that Aruna talked about, right, in our session, wherever time audit or auditing your time spent. Same applies to money, right? Because time is money, or money is time, whatever you can call it, right? So basically it boils down to investors mindset, guys, right? Everything is mindset. The whole session is about mindsets flip. If in case you are already in first second gear, this session is towards third or fourth gear. If in case you are in reverse gear, it is the session is about making you neutral so that you can put first gear and start doing something. Patience and perspectives. Thinking of short term, middle term, long term is a way of to understand perspective. Discipline, again, discipline is the most important thing. It is not about motivation, it's not about emotions. Whenever we talk about investments, emotion is will come and dance before you. Even though you are investing, there are scenarios where you can go wrong in investing, or you can achieve suboptimal results in your investing, if in case you pay attention to your emotions. So you have to be very, very, you have to befriend your emotion in terms of, if in case I can put it that way, and you should be a continuous learner, right? A small example of this is Warren Buffett. Being Warren Buffett, I think he's 92 or something right now. Right from his, what, 17, or I think he's investing from the age of 11 or something. But even at this age, or even in his 80s, I'm not sure about now, but uh, he made his larger amount of his fortune after his 60s. And he, as a person, reads what, on an average, maybe, I think, if my memory is right, I think he reads average 300 to 400 pages a day, right? Of content, right? Again, it's not about social media content, it's about knowledge content, right? And it can be cross departments, because the more you read across topics, the more different perspectives you get. Over time, the more probable that you connect the dots which other people are not connecting. Hence, you are making wiser choices. Hence, you are making wiser decisions in terms of investing, right? Again, resilience to volatility is related to emotions as well, right? என்னதான் நடந்தாலுமே, you have to be like, going to the previous session, right? That ஆண்டாள் இருந்த தென்தாமரை ராமர் மாதிரி இருந்தாதான் you have to be like that, or else there is chances that you take, consider this situation right now that we are facing, right? It's bloodbath in the stock market, but fear is mongering overall, so everybody is removing money. If you understand the stock markets well, the fundamental reason is everybody is rooming the money-னால தான் கீழே வருது. கீழே வரும்போது தான் இன்வெஸ்டே பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா கீழே வாங்கிட்டு மேலே விற்கிறது தான் you have to make money. That's the most fundamental rule, right? But human emotions and human choice making does not operate that way. It's always counterintuitive, right? Again, this is a small slide. I think we are already losing time. We just wanted to talk about eighth wonder of the world, which is compounding. That's a small example of this scenario where there's a king who is underestimating the power of compounding. When he is asked to fill up a rice in one square, 64 squares. So 64 squares தானே, நான் வந்து ஒருத்தருக்கும் டபுள் பண்ணிட்டு போறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். But practically speaking, 2 to the power 64 is actually, there's not even rice grown in the world, right? In terms of the request being made. Again, this can be made understand in two scenarios, both in a positive as well as in a negative sense. With this, I think, yeah, I'll. This also talks about compounding. I am not going to. Okay, before we go this, summarizing, if in case you remember this framework, so start saving if in case you have not, whatever may be the percentage of your income, in order to get to the crease only, right? If in case you are a batsman. So ones and twos, remember twos is always a combination of ones. Two ones is what maximizes two. So constant saving, thereby reducing expenses. Also increase your savings over time whenever you get a hike, whenever you get an extra income or a bonus. Always plan your goals. It can be any vehicle that you want to buy. It can be two-wheeler, but not necessarily bogged down to I need to get this done in 3 months. Always plan it 1.5 years or 2 years, so that you can plan it monthly and then do it without a loan as soon as possible. Then increase your savings, increase your planning, increase your investments back then, wherein you are in the multiplying zone. Diversify if possible, if time and budget and your cash flow permits, and take risks also, because the younger we are, the more risks that we can take, and over time you will automatically go into the success that you need not even bat. It can automatically happen, but time is required, right? Easily 20-25 years of time is required in order that compounding effect to multiply and eventually help you, and then make your life much more less dependent on the income that you are working towards actively. It can be business, it can be your day job. Yeah, with this, I think the small segue to understanding the type of assets in terms of the investments. Over to you, Vignesh.
So yeah, you just continue with the slides. On the when
Yeah.
the switch comes, I'll take over. See, I'll just go through these assets very quickly, right? But yeah, because of the time. So see, usually the assets can be real assets or financial assets. Real asset is something that you can feel tangible, like house, gold, commodities, paintings, like or road utilities, infra. Financial asset is where you invest, like stocks, bonds, mutual fund, etc., etc. Right? So then next. So real estate, you know about you most of you know about real estate, how it works. But my personal opinion is that first house is not an investment. The house that you buy and you stay, you should not consider it as investment because you're not going to sell it because you're staying, you're doing things there, you're consuming it. So it's not an investment. Only your second house becomes investment. And problem with real estate usually is that it's a very big asset. It's very clunky. It's very difficult to sell also. If you want to sell a house and then you want to get money out of it, it may take 1 to 2 years also sometimes for the price that you think. Unless if you are selling it quickly in desperation, people will try to cheat you and get less money for it. So in general, real estate is a second house is not a great investment unless like you have other liquidity. You solve for other liquidity problem, etc. Then it's okay to have additional houses, additional rental income, right? Okay, next. So gold, gold. So most of us are aware of gold jewelry and gold coin, but there are also other investments like gold ETF and digital gold, right? One big recommendation I'll give you is that never invest in digital gold right now because they are not governed by anybody. So no SEBI, no RBI, no one is governing digital gold. So don't go for digital gold, at least for now. Unless you trust the source, you do a lot of research. If not, don't touch the digital gold. And next thing is gold jewelry. Problem with gold jewelry is whenever you're buying a gold jewelry, you're already paying 15% or something in loss stage, wastage, and all. And then when you're going to sell, also you lose 10-15%. See, it's good to have, but also consider these expenses when you're buying and selling jewelry, if you are considering it as an investment. Now, gold coins, they are true investment because you get only 3% GST and there is not much wastage or anything. So gold coins are better. Gold coin and gold ETFs. Gold ETF is nothing but investing in gold stock market. This is governed by SEBI properly. But again, you have to understand what are all the issues. Gold ETF also has some negatives. Gold coins has some negatives. Maybe if you want to invest in gold ETF, do some little research because sometimes gold ETF can go in premium, and then like you have to be aware like when you invest or when you don't invest. So, but it's generally safe. So what you put in gold ETF is generally safe. But can do your own research on gold ETF and you can start investing there also. Okay, next.
Sorry to
So
interrupt, Vignesh.
yeah.
So at this point of time, people tell like gold always will reach 25K per gram
Okay,
and all.
that's not
Like,
true.
what is
That's
your
not true.
take? Is it true?
That's not true
Then it is worthy
because
investing now because it has already crossed so many
no, you're
extreme
talking about
cases,
current,
right?
right? You're talking about current. I'll tell you a
Yeah,
fact
current.
about
Yeah.
gold. Between
Hmm.
2012 to 2018, right? Gold, if you
Hmm.
had invested in 2012 and if you sold gold in 2018, the the amount of profit you would have made is 0.5%. For 6 years,
Okay.
it did not even go up. It actually went down.
Oh,
It went a little bit negative. It didn't go too negative, like it went like 2-3% down. And then in 2018, it came almost equal. And after 2018 only it increased. You can check online, right?
yes,
So
yes.
gold
Hmm.
is not always stable. It's as volatile as stock market. That's one thing you have
Correct.
to understand. So
ಇಲ್ಲ thing thing is, see, I thought like I missed the window. Like 2 years before I invest
see,
பண்ணிருந்தா I would
don't
have
have
already
FOMO
got
on investment.
50%.
Don't have FOMO on
Uh,
investment. Don't never have FOMO on investment. You start doing now also, but do an SIP in gold.
okay.
That's
Okay.
why gold ETF is good. Gold ETF, yeah, I am putting gold ETF. Every month I'm investing 10,000, 15,000 in gold. So whenever
Okay.
there is an next rally, maybe 5 years, 6 years later, you might have another rally like this. That time you capture it. Don't
Oh,
forget about what has already gone. Think about future. That's how I would say. Silver,
no.
no. Silver is
Okay.
like very volatile. You need
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much
that I
luck.
have read. Yeah,
No
yeah.
silver. No silver, no
Okay.
copper, no commodities. That's my recommendation. But if you can research and do it, yeah, please go ahead and do it. For normal person, these are all like very volatile stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Fixed income. So fixed income, there are different types of fixed incomes. Fixed incomes that gives like generally gives you like fixed return. Like if you take bonds, right? There are different types of bonds. There is government bonds, like government securities, T-bills, government entity bond, like TNEB also can give you a bond. So those kind of are there. There are also corporate bonds. Usually they give fixed like interest every month, like 7%, 8%. Okay. But what you have to understand about corporate bonds is that I actually have a separate slide for that. I can speak about that. Then there are government schemes, like bank FDs, EPF, PPF, post office schemes. There is for if you have a girl child, you can go for Suganya Samriddhi scheme also, right? And also there is mutual funds. Mutual funds also they have some types of mutual funds which invest in bonds. For example, liquid funds, arbitrage fund, equity saver fund. I mean, arbitrage fund is actually they invest in equities but do an arbitrage. But it's a little bit like a based on some price difference between two stocks and all they do something. But it's a little bit technical. But yeah, so like that. And the equity saver also similar to that. So these are all some of the funds you can actually go and put for fixed. If you want like a these funds will mostly give 5 to 6%. Some will give a little bit more, 7 or something. But generally they are very safe assets, right? This is fixed income. Yeah, next slide. One thing about bond I want to tell is if you go for a corporate bond, there is a chance that if the company defaults, you can lose the entire amount also. So you have to, even when you're investing in bonds, you have to do a little bit research about the company and then only invest. Just because everybody says bond is safe, don't go into bond blindly. One morning I want to do this one fixed asset, you have to take a little bit of calculation. Yeah. Next. Okay, so now we talked about fixed income, real estate, gold. We also need equity usually in our portfolio, right? Uh, One thing is it has very good growth potential. Next one is inflation hedge. What it means is that most of the fixed income is, I told you, right? It gives 5 to 6%. Our inflation is around 6 to 7%. It's they are coming too close to our inflation. Sometimes it's not even beating inflation. But only instrument that can beat inflation, like maybe two, I would say, maybe gold and equity. Only these two can beat inflation. If you take housing also, right, it usually gives in most of the places gives 5% 5 to 6% only. Even in some cases house also may not beat inflation. There are cases where it has given even bigger return. So but two things that will definitely beat inflation is equity and gold. Yeah. Then yeah, ownership, you are having a part of the like business as a part of you, and it also helps you diversify very easily. You can put it in multiple different assets and then you can enjoy the diversification. So these are the few reasons why you need to invest in equity. Okay. Direct stocks, you do research on different companies, try to understand what is their business, and if you think that business will do well in future, you go and invest it, right? It's straightforward. So the next one is mutual funds. So mutual fund is like, see, we as people, we don't have time to research about different company and invest in those companies, right? So you're actually basically hiring another person to do that research and deploy your money in different companies for you, right? So like group of 1,000 or 10,000 people, you come together, you're putting money together and you are investing and then you're taking it up. One good thing about mutual fund is that you can do SIP in mutual fund. You can automate your expenses. You can, like set up every month, I want to do X amount, and then it will automatically do it so that your wealth creation is becoming automatic. So in terms of mindset also, right, we initially spoke like he spoke, saving is equal to income minus expense is the wrong idea, right? Expense is equal to income minus saving. So now, if you are having SIP and all, first the money will go out into the investment, then remaining you can plan for how you do it. So this mutual fund helps you do that very easily compared to other assets. Yeah. Again, there are four types of mutual funds. The debt fund is the one we saw, right? Liquid funds, equity saver, all those things are debt funds. They don't have volatility and they are safe, but at the same time they don't give enough returns. Then there are equity funds, which they fully invest, or majority of the fund they invest in companies, different companies, and do that. And there are also hybrid funds. The advantage of hybrid fund is they invest both in the bonds as well as they both invest in the companies. So they are slightly safer than equity, but they are also get you better returns than normal debt funds. So this is the difference between these two. Then there are special funds. If you can invest more than 10 lakhs, 1 crore, there are special funds. They are alternative investment funds. They are PMS. There is long short term funds. So there are different funds. So these are all like for higher income people. So these funds are also there. These are all through mutual fund itself. You can do all these, right? Yeah. So next slide. Okay. So now this is the most important thing. See, whatever investment we are doing, right? See, we are not just doing it for just like that. We have a reason for doing every investment. Let's say you want to take care of your kids' education, or you want to take care of your retirement, you want to buy a new car, or you want to do something, right? Everyone has our own reason on why you need to invest. But what we sometimes fail to do is that we don't try to understand how much should I allocate for each investment? How do I plan it? All those things are sometimes is missing from us. So now when you're able to actually put it in a proper format, and if you're able to see what is needed, and second thing is, right, we talk about compounding. So the problem with the our brain is that we don't understand. So our brain thinks only linearly. What I need next month, you can easily plan. What I need 2 months or 1 year later, you can plan. But what I need 15 years later, or if I ask you a question, right, like what I need 20 years later, you won't be able to tell me what is the number, right? Let's say if I'm saying your expense today is one lakh, how much will you need after 15 years for the same thing you're doing now? Nobody can calculate out of their mind. You need some kind of calculator doing it. So when you're actually creating this milestone based investment, you can calculate these things using proper tool, and then based on that you can invest. We'll actually is there any volunteer here? See, anyone can volunteer for now. We are doing like a quick calculator for you.
Or can you want to share? Then
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. We want to show you like a retirement calculator. So can someone volunteer? Like I'll share my screen.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hi.
You have the slides also, no? If in case you want
Yeah,
to go.
yeah. I have. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
you have some link or something to do that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you're
yeah. I
planning?
have.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, who volunteered? Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Abhinaya.
Hi, Abhinaya.
Abhinaya.
Abhinaya,
Hi.
like, can you just give me one parameter? Like, what is your monthly household expense you have?
Okay. Monthly
Remove your
40,000.
EMIs. Remove your EMIs. Okay,
So
40,000.
we don't have EMIs or rent or anything. So it is only 30 to 40,000.
40,000. Okay. So
Yeah.
our current age is 38. When do you want to retire?
When do I want to retire?
Yeah,
65.
65. Okay, very long time.
Really?
Okay, 65.
Eh?
Don't you want to retire early? Okay.
No, I don't
See,
want to retire early.
let's say if 90, right? So see, this is basically a retirement calculator. So your expense is 40,000. Okay. You're right now 38, but you want to retire at 65. Okay. Your,
Yes.
let's say you will at least live till 1995, right? 90.
Ayyo.
Uh,
Let's say 80, yeah.
no, just let's say that's up to you, but
Okay.
see,
Okay.
for example, let's say your life extends like 30 years beyond, right? It's for
Okay.
financial calculation, right? What
Sorry,
happens in
sorry.
reality is different. You don't want
Yeah,
to live long.
and Vignesh, this
What, you don't want to live till 100 or what?
No.
Uh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So what this calculator is, see, you at the age of 65, how much money you should have so that you
Okay.
can retire peacefully. So the
Okay.
number you're getting is 6.68 crores.
Oh.
You need that much money when you retire so that for next 25, 30 years you can live like you can generate income. See, your expense at your age will be 29 lakh per year. You're
Okay.
seeing this number. So to generate this 29 lakh per year, you need 6.68 crore.
So if you say 6.68, does it also include the just like liquid money or also the properties I own?
It can be, see, I would say when you're retiring, you should, sell off all your property, make it everything liquid so that you get regular income. Don't get anything locked up. That will be my opinion. But yeah, in general, if you have 6.68 crores with you, it's good.
Abhi,
Okay.
this is the corpus, okay? You have to have this
Corpus.
many amount to live the life you are expecting.
Okay.
that is in the
Yeah, you
assumption
Okay.
can.
that you are working till 65.
Okay.
And you live till 90.
Yeah.
Both matters.
Oh.
Both matters, right?
Okay.
So in this also you see two different numbers, right? There is two other number, which is lean fire and fat fire. So
Okay.
I'll tell you what is the difference. Fire
Uh-huh.
means you will have money for yourself and you can leave little bit for your kids also.
Okay.
Lean fire means it will be exact for you. If you have 4.47 crores, it will be only enough
Ah,
for you. You won't be able to leave some for your kids and other people.
okay.
Fat fire means you can actually enhance your lifestyle and still live. You can go to five-star hotel regularly, you can do world trip regularly, and still your money won't be done. So that is
Okay.
fat fire.
Okay. Live well.
Live well.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
this is one. So now, depending upon your household income, everyone can calculate this. There are so many fire calculators. You just say fire calculator. Fire means financially independent, retire early. So
Okay.
you will know what is the number you want to do, right? So like this. Now, this see, retirement is only one aspect of our life. Okay.
Uh, uh,
Wait, let me.
So, Jayanth, what is this inflation, right? Some tells inflation is 6%, some is putting 7%.
No, it's
What
always to
should be
put
the
little bit
number?
more, right? You always put little bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
so that you are safe. That's it. So
So
see,
the
the
current thing
idea
we are
is,
expecting
let's
is
say,
7%.
no, let's say 10 years later, India is becoming a superpower. Then the inflation become 3%. So every 2 years or 3 years once, you have to again do this calculation and figure out what is your new fire number. It's
hmm.
usually good to do that.
Okay.
It's not a fixed number. If you fix it now, it's not going to be the same throughout your life, right? After 3 years, if some situation changes, you have to recalculate. If situation don't change, it's okay. So regularly when you
Okay.
calculate it, you will be aware of how much you need, how much I need to invest, and then you can, make better out of it. Okay, how do you present it? Slideshow.
I have one question. This is off topic, little off topic. So, do you
Start
think that?
from the presenter
No,
view. Sorry.
hello?
1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
Good, good.
Do you think the INR is going to depreciate more versus USD, or it is going to stagnate at some point?
I see in personal finance, that's not a problem because like if unless you're going to go to US and settle, it is
No.
not a
I
question
have
you need to
some
answer.
dollars is locked up, so I don't know when to. I'm figuring it out when to take it, when to liquidate it.
That is a very complicated question. We cannot answer
Yeah,
a
I
lot of.
know.
I mean, I'm not expert on dollars, so I
Okay.
can't
Okay.
answer you on that directly.
Okay.
But
Okay.
see, right now it's increasing, so we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So no comments on that generally.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay. Never mind.
yeah. So see, I see right now we saw one thing, right? We saw about retirement, right? How to calculate for some person. You saw you need 6 crores, right? So now a lot of us won't even know how much we need for retirement. At least doing that basically gives us a target. But the problem is that is not our only goal. We have so many other goals in between. I have just listed only four of these. You could also have other goals like your children's marriage will be there, your vacations will be there, or you want to celebrate your 20th anniversary somewhere with your family, like abroad or something. Or some I had like a very specific thing. I wanted to go to casino and gamble once for a huge amount. So I saved up money and went and did it. So you can have your own personal goals also, personal things you want to do. Like you can put all these things together and can create a calculator like this. Now, here what I have done is I have created my goal. I have fixed what is the time period for the goal. Is it 2 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? You can have different timelines. Okay. And then based on the timeline, you can say what is the duration of it. The short duration means usually 1 to 3 years or 1 to 4 years is considered as short duration. Then 4 to 7 years is considered as mid, and anything beyond 7+ years is considered as long. I'll tell you why this is important in the next slide, but this is generally how we classify. Then, for let's say you want to buy a mobile of 30,000, right? Then you just put it there. Or you want to buy an iPhone, it's 2 lakhs. You can put 2 lakhs there. Whatever is the price of the mobile you want to buy, you put there. How much car, if you want to buy a car, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, whatever is the amount, you put it there. And then for different things, you put it like this. Then you adjust. See, for our, they say inflation rate in India is 7%, right? That 7% inflation rate is only for your basic item, not for everything else, right? But usually in education, the inflation rate is 10%. If you take hospital expenses, the expenses 10 to 15% sometimes, depending upon the city and everything. It's 17%. So depending on what item you are adding in the gold, try to research a little bit what is the inflation rate in that particular item, and then add those numbers. And then you will also get the amount at the gold. Now you know, for now what we're having is here, my time period is 10 years, and this is the amount I have to reach. So how much should I invest each month? So this is the final amount you need to invest for each goal separately. You're getting it? If you can make a plan like this, it becomes easier for you to invest. Any question or anything here? Because like this is very important. Like I just want to make sure. Also depending upon the duration, right? Where you invest matter. If it is short duration, you cannot take risk. So you put only 6%. If it is a mid goal, you can take a little bit of risk. So 8%. If it is a long duration, your expected return can be a little bit higher. 10 to 12% is okay. So you put there. And based on these number, you're calculating how much you should invest in each month. Yeah. Any questions here? Okay. Questions? Okay. So now coming to investment, right? See, now you have figured out how much you need for different goals, everything. Now you want to buy a phone or, uh, as I mentioned, phone, right? Now, if you're going to do it within 2 years, you cannot put it in a fund that is risky, right? If you take any stock market, right? Stock market or equities, it's usually very volatile. 1 month, 1 year, it could be -5. Next year, it can be +30. It could be very volatile. So you should not invest in volatile things for your short duration. So you put 100% in debt. Debt means the fixed income thing we saw, right? Those are called as debt. So you put everything in fixed income. Now you in the same thing, right? You saw this car as mid, right? So whenever it is a mid, uh, you cannot be too conservative also. You cannot be too aggressive also. You cannot fully put it inside a risky fund. You cannot completely be safe also. You need little bit of risk so that you can reach the goal sooner. So for that, there are some funds, like there are hybrid funds, there are hybrid mutual funds, there are conservative funds, or if you have a good understanding of the markets and all, you can by yourself give 60% in some bonds or something like that, and 40% in some equity, or some mutual fund, index fund, or something like that. Similarly, if the period is more than 7 years, you can take little bit more risk. Even then, you don't take full risk. Even if it is a long-term goal, etc., you don't take full risk. Still, you do 70% in equity, 30% in debt, right? And what all you can do, you can equity fund, large cap, mid cap, small cap fund. These are all types of mutual funds, aggressive hybrid funds, multi-asset funds. If it is 7 to 10 years, right, I would prefer aggressive hybrid funds. Beyond 10 years, I would invest in other things, large, mid, small, etc., etc. Okay. Uh, Apart from this, again, like depending upon age, right? When you're getting older, your risk should become less. So depending upon your age, also you have to invest in equity and debt, like in a ratio. Equity, debt, and gold. If you can keep all these three in a certain ratio, you can actually, meet most of your goals based on your age and everything. So this is in general. Yeah, I think that's it. This is general things, right? So see, as you said, right, compounding takes time. How much longer you keep your money in the keep invested, that much bigger the money becomes, right? So having patience, first having clear objective is important, then having patience. And see, one of the mistakes that our parents and everyone, like at least our parents' generation did this, they either choose only gold or they choose house. That's all they do. They don't invest in stocks, bonds, all those things, because again, the knowledge was a problem then. The knowledge wasn't as easy as it seems today. So it was very difficult for them to trust other sources also, how to invest. They could not figure it out, right? Because of that, if your concentration is on one particular asset, everything is concentrated on one particular asset. What happens? Let's say there is a downfall in that asset. Let's take real estate itself, right? During COVID, what happened is even your houses were selling only at 30% of its your original price. A lot of them were 30, 40% less. Now, if you wanted some huge amount of money at that time, and if you sold your house, you would have sold it at loss. Now, at the same time, if you looked at gold or if you looked at some of the equity components, right, they are actually doing much better than ours. So when you need, like, maybe you could have taken money from that and used for your purposes, right? So now when you have diversification based on your goals, you can pick it up from different assets whenever you need. So that is the purpose of diversification. Also, you should look at your taxes, how much you pay. And also now what happens, like, let's say you're not diversifying, you're not creating the structure, right? You will, let's say you don't have goal, how much you need to invest every month. If you didn't do the chart I showed earlier, right? And then if you start investing, you will start chasing the return. Oh, this fund is giving 15%. Oh, this fund is giving 20%. You will start going behind that, right? Now, but if you know 12% is enough for me or 10% is enough for me, you won't worry about whether your fund is, you will stop comparing your fund with other funds. You will have a direct mind, like, this fund is giving me this much, that's enough for me, right? So these are all some of the things which you can follow. Again, ignoring inflation and taxes. If you put everything in fixed deposit and those things, it may not beat inflation. And again, there'll be some people who will be trying to time the market. Whenever it's going on, I'll try to invest. So these things might not work all the time. So these are some of the things that investors can do wrongly. So that's it. So yeah. So next one is, like, let's say you're starting to build wealth, you have built enough wealth, but then how do you take it to your next generation, right? This is something lot of people they miss to do, right? One thing is, sometimes, like, men in the family, they don't talk about what wealth they have, where they have kept, how much they have kept. They'll be saving and they'll be investing everything, but they won't talk about it. So it's good to have a very good documentation of what all you have, where you have, what is, if you're having a bank account and all, giving your username and password, everything in some kind of like, or if you have a goal, you might have it in a locker. You can say which locker you have, what is the locker number, everything. You can put all this information and keep it accessible for everyone, right? So next
Uh,
one is
Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt.
yeah,
So what do you use, man? Yeah, I always had this question: where to maintain all this in case of
okay,
emergency? What is your
okay.
setup?
This list, right? So there is actually a book called Let's Talk Legacy. This is basically an accounting book where you can do accounts. If
Okay.
you don't want to make it that complex, just take an Excel sheet and write it down. Take an Excel sheet. This is my bank account number. This. This is my this one. This. That's the first beginning. Or if you wanted a little more structure, there are books also for that, like accounting books or something like that. Specific. I don't think there is any specific books for your personal finance accounting, but this book
So
called
this
Let's
is a
Talk
book to
Legacy.
note it down, right?
Let's Talk Legacy. Yeah,
Yeah.
note it down just to, like, different asset, what is there, how much is the money present in that asset. You can do it like that. So it's one, but you can start off with Excel. If you're not, it's not very complex, you can start off with Excel. Then even your insurance detail and all, you should put it there. What is your
Yeah,
insurance
yeah.
policy ID, everything you can put it there. So even when, let's take Manikan an example. Let's say he is the one who's taking insurance, and for some reason he is getting hospitalized. If his wife doesn't know, it becomes a problem for him also. If she doesn't know what is the policy number, what is the policy detail, it will become a problem. Somewhere
Okay.
you have to keep that information, right? So this note keeping is very important. And then you should not only keep it for yourself. You should share it with your kids. You should share it with your spouse. You should share it with two or three of your friends also. There is a taboo about talking about money, but some trusted friends or family relatives, if you can keep it to them, even when, like, let's say if somebody says, let's say something is happening. I mean, I don't want to talk negative, but let's say some unfortunate situation is happening. Maybe our mind won't work. Your relatives can help you out with this information. I'm saying trusted is a very important part. Whom you trust, you give it to them, right? The next thing is, in the family, what we have to do is that, especially with kids and all, even if the kids are like only 12 or 13-year old, you should start having dialogues about money, right? The talking about money should become a normal process, and this should be a normal process, especially when you're struggling, right? Not only when you're doing well, everything, not only then, even if you're struggling, for how you're struggling, why you're struggling, how much is UMA is bothering you, you should talk about these also. And let's say if you're having some lawyers, advisors, everyone, you should put those people's contact details also here, so it's easy for them to also refer. Right? Let's Manigandan say, right? His brother-in-law, someone is regular doctor. So maybe you can put their contact number. Maybe they have 3-4 different email ID, contact number. Put everything. Or if you have a family doctor, etc., or lawyer, put all these numbers. One thing we need to understand is nominee and legal heir are two different things, right? So nominee means they are only caretaker of the asset that you are nominating them for. Let's say you are putting your mother or father as a nominee, or if you are putting a spouse as a nominee, means they are only caretaker. But heir means there is a specific who is a heir, how much each heir gets is defined in our constitution itself, right? It's called a succession act, and for different religion there is a different succession act. So based on that only, just because you put your spouse as a heir, like as a sole nominee for your account, doesn't mean she'll get all the money. Your kids also get 50% in that. Like, again, depending upon the religion, it might change, but that is the rule. Now, in order for you to explicitly say who should take which money, how much should they take, everything, it's always good to create a will, right? So, will, like, how much you want to give, how much each one can take. You should talk extensively about how you want to do. You have to consider different circumstances, and then you have to put it in the will. See, will is a very taboo subject, especially in India, but it's actually good to have a will, and then it solidifies because nobody can claim, like someone else can get. See, there are very weird will laws, right? In some situations, even the sibling of the person can get a share from the asset. Now, if you don't want that to happen, if you want your spouse to get everything, then you have to mention it. If you want your kids to get X amount, you have to mention that. It's better to have will, and will is also not a, like, if you do it once, it's not fixed. You can actually iterate through it, modify it as your circumstances changes. You can modify your will also. So this is a very it's not does not mean if you create one now you cannot change it later. You can slowly change it. Now the last
Sure
thing is
doubt.
pivot structures. Yeah, sure.
If you're a single child, do the parents need to create a will?
Yes.
Same doubt I also had. Why should I do a will if I'm not even having any siblings?
No,
And
there is a weird. I'll tell you that if you look at the Hindu Succession Act, right, there is one weird clause. If something happens to the female, right, the money does not go to the husband. Money actually goes to the uh, brothers of her. There are some
okay.
weird clauses in our Succession Act. Lot of things. So especially on the wife, the husband does not get it.
Again,
So
right? So
there are a lot of weird things. Like, this is just
yeah,
one example.
yeah,
Then
the takeaway here, or rather the nuance here is, Jivita
yeah,
Mani, is although it's recommended, not everybody will be interested to do this also, will creation. If you do better, same applies for our parents, as we are legal heirs to them. But the reason that Vignesh is stressing is this: you should not regret a scenario where the person who you are the most
yeah.
trusting person, or rather the unexpected scenarios where you are losing what you thought was yours because will is not there. That is the situation that we are trying to avoid.
And is
Again,
it legal? Is it also mandatory?
I would say it's
அது
mandatory. I would
கேள்விப்பட்டதுக்கு
say
நான்
it
கேட்கிறேன்.
is. I would say it is mandatory because, see, other sonala, we don't know the law, right? We don't know the law to full extent. At least it's better to consult an lawyer and say, do I need a will? At least that question you can, go talk to a lawyer, figure it out, and what all do I need to put in will, how I can put it, figure out something. See, actually, 2 days back there was one interesting interview by Gopinath. I think it's in the Gopinath Social or something, his YouTube channel. It's one of us. He's talking about wills only, different weird scenarios. He talked about lot of things. You go and watch it. He's a lawyer from Kerala, and he's talking about will and everything. You go and watch that. It's a fantastic thing.
Hey,
If you
நீ
want to
என்ன
understand
கோபிநாத்
fully
இல்லையா?
about will, அந்த கோபிநாத் தான்ப்பா.
அவர்தானா? நீயா நானா
கோபிநாத் has
கோபிநாத் தானா?
அவன் தனி யூடியூப் சேனல் வச்சிருக்கான். அவன் தனி
Yeah,
யூடியூப்
yeah,
சேனல்
that round
வச்சிருக்கான்.
table. Okay, okay, okay.
நான் ரவுண்ட் டேபிள்
round table.
வந்து பிஹைண்ட் வுட் சேர்ல வரும். ரவுண்ட் டேபிள் வந்து இட் கம்ஸ்
Okay,
பிஹைண்ட் வுட் சேர். கோபிநாத்
okay,
his name அவன் நேம்ல he has one channel, யூடியூப் சேனல்.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
round table is different. That comes in behind வுட்ஸ்ல வரும். அவன் he himself has one channel, கோபிநாத் சோஷியல் அதோட சேனல் நேம். But you can search. 2 days back there was a new episode on how to about will creation. It's a 1.5 hours conversation with it's a podcast with a lawyer who
Oh, okay.
specializes in will creation. So
Okay,
that's one.
thank you.
Okay. So I mean, actually, that's a better content than me speaking about will. So yeah, you can actually watch it, but it's 1.5 hours. But if you have some small questions, I can try to figure it out and get back to you later also on that. Next thing is, let's say if you're having a large wealth, if you have 5 crore plus, 6 crore plus, 10 crore plus wealth, it's better to have a trust. Trust is it's like a next stage to the will. Why trust is important is after your period, let's say you don't want your kid to have your money when he's 18, but you don't want him to miss out on his education, everything. You can create a trust and you can direct them to do what you want. Till 18 they can give him money, everything. Till he finish colleges you can support him, everything. And after he finishes college you can say he gets my money only after 40, right? The reason is that so maybe you think he may not be matured when he's 30s and he might there is a lottery ticket scenario, right? There is a case that 95% of the lottery winners they lose all their money within 2 to 3 years. You don't want that to happen to your kid. Suddenly if he is getting 10 crores, what if he spends everything? You're afraid of that. Maybe you want him to mature first, then give him money. So maybe you can create a trust, say only after 35 he gets the money. So for that, if you create a trust and create a trustee, they will, like give the money to him whenever he needs, how much he needs, like based on some calculation. You can give, and he's taken care of and he gets money only when he's matured. So this also could be a good option for people with very high, net worth. So this is some of the things, like this is how you can, like take your inheritance to your future offsprings. So this is one again investor mindset. So these are some of the books I can recommend, right? So see these first two books, right? This Let's Talk Money and Mango Millionaire. These are very Indianized books, so it's very good for Indian scenarios. Yeah. So
Yeah, there are
these two books
multiple,
are
but
very good for Indian scenarios. And yeah, there are multiple books, but these are two things that impressed
Dishu,
me personally.
side on
So
the
I have
side
put this
point.
hey, money
here.
can be
Then Psychology of Money is general, and Rich Dad Poor Dad is also good. So yeah, so what kind of mindset? You see, we spoke about mindset like only a couple of slides, right? Maybe if you want to get into depth of what kind of mindset you need, how do I modify my mindset? You can go to read Psychology of Money. And then Rich Dad Poor Dad also leads with a little bit of psychology, and it's very American context, but it's still a good book. It's a very good recommended by so many. So yeah, this is about it. And actually, at the end of the slide, we have this One Idiot, right? The movie that he was talking about. We have it here. We can share the slides later. Like you can also watch this movie. It's only a 30-minute video. But it's a very good video about investments and other things. So yeah,
Yeah, we'll also share
that's
the
it.
link in WhatsApp separately. But yeah, thanks, Vignesh.
This is about it.
Any other
Yeah.
questions? I think money is somebody had asked, but we are way beyond time. But Vinaya, Shalini, and Adit, anybody, any other?
I'll stop sharing now.
Yes,
It's informal.
we will continue to dwell this because it's a huge topic. But we consciously wanted to do a 101. Even 101 was a lot, definitely. But anything to comments, questions that we before?
So can you share the link in WhatsApp, that calculator and all?
Yeah, we can.
Calculator. No, just search fire calculator. There are so many hundreds of calculators. So yeah, but I can share that
Okay.
also.
Okay.
There is SAP calculator. There is like fire calculator. There's so many calculators. Yeah, you can figure out those things. But I'll also share a couple of.
Okay.
Just from my side, I wanted to say it was a very useful session. Just with on the basics that you guys were talking about at the beginning, I just wanted to add one from, just the personal situation we encountered. So I believe now in India, it is mandatory to have nominees in your account, in the bank account. Maybe for my grandparents, it wasn't the case, or, something got missed. But, it became a huge issue in making sure, we are able to transfer, things from the grandparents' account, after their demise. So I think that nominee thing also is something really important if to keep in mind, when you create accounts like investments. So, your family doesn't miss out on, the joint earnings and things like that. So that's something I just wanted to point out.
Sure, yes. Point taken.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely. This is boiling down to filling up a form, or I don't know why people do not do this. But
Yeah,
that's lakhs
yeah.
and lakhs of crores of unclaimed wealth and money which is going to the treasury department over time because people have not filled nominee, right?
No,
Yeah,
there is 2 lakh crore rupees which is there in what is called as a DEF account. DEF account means they didn't use that account for 10 years.
Yeah.
It can be mutual fund, it can be there is 2 lakh crores amount sitting in DEF account because nobody created a will, nobody knew that account existed, and nobody claimed it. So
exactly.
that is there.
Actually, now it's become like, maybe it's 3 years almost since, my maternal grandparents passed away. It's like, and my mother was the only nominee. And it's like, we're getting surprise, um, like posts, and then we are realizing, oh, in the account kuda irka. Then we are trying to trace it back, and, through the statements. And when we go and figure out, then there is no nominee, and then the whole process is such a, huge thing to follow through,
You at least got a post, so you will figure it out.
yeah.
So
So that's something I
yeah,
wanted to share.
I like to add that actually my father sends out like an email to some of the family members, that is me and my mom, about all his investments and the PPF money la, where and all he has invested, what is the return, what is the time period, everything. It's an Excel sheet that he shares with the close family members, so that
Yeah, it's a
it's
very good
easy for
practice.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah.
nice of him. Fantastic. We all should learn. Keeping folks updated itself
Yeah.
is a thing.
Yeah. It's you need to
There,
know
there
like
are there
where it
are
is, how it
husbands
is,
where
how much.
there are husbands and there are wives, or there are couples who do not know each of their net worth only, and suddenly somebody is gone, and you panic, and then you grieve and whatever, and then money is gone, right? He said some deaf
No,
account.
I think especially women it is a problem because like lot of women don't talk about investment everything, and like men are like very less talkative, so they don't even tell where they have invested. They would have invested a lot, but they wouldn't even tell. So like somewhere we have to match this dynamic. Both of them should come together and then talk about it and figure out like all these stuff. I think especially like budgeting part, right? So there is this concept where when you're starting to budget itself, you have to figure out what your husband and wife, their interest itself will be very different. When you sit and budget itself, a lot of things will get cleared between each other, right? So that's a very interesting dynamics you can see. Like each one will be different. They have their own mind. They want to do their own thing. They'll be comfortable with something. Other person will not be comfortable with that. So that conversation itself will get them towards financial equilibrium very easily. So yeah,
Yes. The more you delay, the more confusion you're creating. Right.
I think talking about money should become easy, at least within the family. So
Yeah.
that's the thing we should work on.
All right. Anything else before we close for today?
Also, like what type of topics you want within finance, what all you want to know, also you can tell us, so that
Yes, I
maybe we can
wanted to
next
also.
insurance, we have insurance topic, we can do one thing.
It can be beyond the sessions,
And then
beyond the
anything else.
topics that we covered, or deep diving what we covered also. Both ways works.
Maybe something around credit card points, how to best use them, and like, good
I'll do
credit
that.
cards.
Yeah, I can
And
do that.
We can do it, but there is a person also is been Vinod, who is working for DBS Singapore. When he filled the form, he has put usage of
Yeah,
credit
I
card.
can do it also.
You can also do it. Super. Okay.
Okay,
I
great.
can do it.
Yeah. That is an assumption that you are already clocking super wealth and you are extracting more in terms of credit cards.
I can
Not the
yes.
other way around.
So,
Yeah. Okay. I'm stopping recording. Anybody? Okay. Adit, any closing comments? Was it
most
useful?
of my
Yeah.
I mean, like most of my vacation I do with credit card points only. So it's
Yes,
like
we can plan.
yeah.
And property purchase is also possible with credit card, and it gives you like free vacation for the next 5 years for your family, because obviously you would have paid a
Amma,
huge sum.
2.5 lakhs credit limitல என்னமா ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க?
Yeah.
இல்ல ஆனா நீ என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா நீ அந்த let's say you come to an agreement with whoever your property thing is, but let's say, and instead of making like
Shalini, I'm just stopping recording. Then you can.
yeah, sure.
I don't
So
know.
every day நீ வந்து 2.5 lakh